Thanks to all our active patrons who have contributed a lifetime of $100 or more to reach Garuk Dong level status.
Here is the list of those special patrons in order of contributions.
If you would like to support our show, check out the Commander Smiths at patreon.com. Ooh, welcome to the Commander Smiths.
We are the Commander Smiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
And I'm Lowry Smith.
Don't worry.
We're cousins.
This is episode 297. Hey, we're 3 episodes away from hitting, or did I say that wrong? Are we 297?
No, you're fine. I don't have any notes in front of me. So
yes, RoboCop, I will hit this button just for
A
you.
wizard is never late.
They're never late.
Nor is he early.
Precisely.
He arrives precisely when he means to.
This is episode 297, and we are 3 episodes away from the big 300. Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, so do we have a special episode? No, we just have a normal episode. What?
Just a normies.
Just a normal episode. What do we got going on for this episode this week, Mr. Lowry?
We have
Happy
Stump the Smith Savant. Right?
Yes.
All right.
We have this was because I forgot to draw. Ibukaki, you're getting closer and closer.
Ooh.
You're 2 away. If I forget today and forget next week to draw a name, you will be next. So but we have Tragic Eraser as our stumper this week.
Oh wow, that's
yeah.
that's an emo band name right there.
Is it still is the audio? They're saying the audio is off. Why is the audio off?
Who?
Scott says audio good here. Ted says the audio seems off for him there. I'm checking all my stuff while I'm looking here. It looks like it
I
should
think
be
I
fine.
look all right.
Yeah. Numbers, levels. My levels are good.
Yeah.
All right. If there's anybody else that thinks that the audio sounds bad, let us know. Otherwise, Ted, you suck. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's your side, but also, I mean,
That always
it's our
gets me to-
voices, so it's gonna sound bad. But
Right.
if there's any issues
Right there you go.
with levels,
The stuff and things. Okay, he says it's working now. Good. Every time I see it, like the audio, I so appreciate everybody that jumps on. And Renshaw, I can't even believe that you're here because you should be
Right.
on your honeymoon with Jacuzzi. Congratulations, Jacuzzi, getting married. But I'm really glad that we got you guys live guys here because anytime we see that where it's like, oh, audio, I'm like butt clench. Like, oh, fuck, what's going on? I immediately look at all the things that normally can go wrong. But it's you guys help us out by being live. So anyways, yes, Stump the Smith Savant. This is week 2. Lowry did not get stumped last week. So week 2 of that. And again, the Star Wars Grand Crescendo is the prize. But what is our topic? We have our main topic this week, and it's kind of because of something that happened this
we
weekend.
kind of talk. It's built up to this, and you had a situation over on Friday where there was Ward kind of got you in a pickle.
I guess.
I wasn't there,
Yeah.
so you're gonna have to set up the whole thing, and then basically we're gonna talk about like when there are mistakes or takesies backsies.
Takes these
and-
backsies.
We'll have to figure out, once and for all how to deal with that stuff. Right?
Well, I guess what happened to me, and I don't want to get too in depth with it, is that because of what happened this weekend, it made me think more about Ward and like what happened, not just this weekend, but what's happened to us over the last month and a half, 2 months. Live stream, we've had Ward situations, and we'll talk about that then
Treebeard.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so it's an interesting mechanic that can from what I can think of, it's like the only mechanic that can cause strife in a way, because of things. And I'll get into that more.
Okay.
That's kind of
Yeah.
some of the points I wanted to go over. And that's what got me kind of, let's just have a discussion about it. So, but yeah, so that's it. We don't have anything else planned. We are trying to keep it tight. Yeah. Under that 2-hour mark. It's been good since that, no offense, but since you haven't been drinking, we're pretty good.
Right. No, I agree. We're probably better if I don't drink. That's
I would say our content isn't necessarily like
No,
we don't have the
we just-
breakdowns that we do when we're drinking.
we're cutting a segment that's going to cut 15, 20 minutes off either way. So how was your weekend?
Good. Well, really, I guess what we should say is happy pre-Halloween for everybody out there, for you and everything. It's snowing right now. Our first snowfall, like coming down.
It was
like
so windy.
Buckets out there. Yeah, it's
buckets.
Buckets. But we were only supposed to get like 1 to 2 inches. That's what she said. Yeah.
Have you seen those jokes where somebody walks out and there's 1 to 2 inches and be like, 6 inches fell? This is what you tell me 6 inches is.
So we're getting Smith length of snow tonight. Smith, hung like
full
field
6
mice.
inches buckets
Buckets of
snow. Smith penis right there.
Buckets of Smith penis.
That's what you were.
That visual just
is that
went
what
right
you
there.
were saying?
No, I was talking about the inches part, but
maybe you should
buckets.
What you say.
You're not even drinking. Speaking of drinking, because of the holiday, I am drinking a All Hallows Treat Imperial Chocolate Peanut Butter Stout. This one won. This weekend we had a neighbor costume party with the kids, and Cindy and I dressed up, and a couple of other neighbors dressed up. But then we all got like different Halloween beers. This one's 7.6% alcohol. So when I finish this one, I have the pumpkin one, which is next, which is very much low. It's 4.4%, but it's the Jacko Sam Adams, which they're very
say
tasty.
if you have another one, we should have somebody buy you shots.
There you go. So yeah, shots are still on the table. Well, I can't do the make Lowry sleep in the basement bit if you get 4 shots for Lowry because he's not doing it. But yes, it's half price shots because Lowry's not. So if you want to buy Malort shots and support us and all that, you can do that. And Malort is on the line, as you saw from last week. But yeah, so we had a costume party and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. The beer tasting. Cindy and I don't drink that often anymore. This is pretty much the night that I drink. And so the next day on Sunday, Cindy's like, I'm freaking hung over after all. Well, I mean, one of the beers was this, we went through this and that was the best tasting, but so, and you guys did some costume stuff this weekend, right? You took the kids out.
Just like trunk or treating.
That's still a thing. It's fun. Yeah.
I don't even, Friday, I did that Friday, I think. Saturday. I did it Saturday.
Oh yeah, it was Saturday. It's the same day that we were doing ours.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have no idea what days are. Weeks. 2.5 hours. No, Scott. It's not 2.5 hours.
No.
Hour and a half max. We got some cool Sonic costumes. The kids look awesome in it, and the wife was Cruella de Vil.
That was pretty badass. But your little Lau has a big dinosaur one too. I saw him in the Sonic thing. But then does he have multiple costumes to wear for Halloween?
Yeah, we have a bunch of costumes. He's gonna be Batman at school tomorrow.
Oh, jeez.
We just have costumes hanging out.
But,
so that's just one he's had for years.
Yeah.
It's the only one that really fits in his backpack.
Gotcha.
Basically.
Yeah, the boys have to do they have to be a character from a book. So Zeke's being his normal costume because he's a werewolf, so he's gonna bring 3 little pigs. And then
nice.
But he's not wearing the mask. They can't wear masks. And then Drake's gonna be Steve, which is from Minecraft. So he has that from 2 years ago. So yeah, it's basically just because he can't wear the mask, it's just gonna be boxy shoulders. So he's just gonna look like a ridiculous football player because it's just a box. Like, I don't know. So yeah.
All right. It's probably good that they're not wearing masks.
Yeah, I mean they kind of whatever. I mean
okay, hold on. I had this memory when I was a little kid. I want to say like 92, 93, 94-ish.
91? Like did something around 91 happen here in Minnesota where we got a blizzard?
No, I didn't live in Farmington at that point. So that's how I state this stuff. Oh my goodness. I don't.
Yeah.
But there was a Dubers in town, and it's a small country store thing. It's not even a country store. It's just yada yada. They're small. I think Wisconsin has them every once in a while. But they had these ninja masks that were multicolored, so like purple, red, black, white. There was maybe a couple other colors there. but it was straight up just like a black mask that went over your face with like a colored hood. You look like a foot soldier from like
from
maybe
Ninja Turtles type thing.
yeah, but it like from the second movie, or maybe it was more like a fencing mask.
Oh yeah,
from the
yep.
Olympics, so it looks similar to that, but had like.
But now
I don't know,
that's
like
like
a hoodish thing.
from whatchamacallit, Squid Games do that similar thing. But anyways, you go back to your
yeah,
memory.
yeah, kind of like that too. But that was the sweetest mask I ever had. Disappeared after that year. Never saw it again. I guarantee you, my mom hid it because she did that all the time. When she didn't like something, she would just take it and wouldn't say anything. And we were like, "Where'd those masks go?" And she would just go into a different room or what? I don't know, honey. You know, that's
Hit it.
that's how my Zippo went away. That's how I had baseball cards go away like that.
Oh, maybe the pocket knives that your dad gave all of us cousins for Christmas.
No, I stopped bringing stuff to my mom's house.
So you remember that
Christmas?
I didn't get that pocket. As soon as we got home, those pocket knives were gone. Thanks, Lowry's dad.
You had something awesome.
I did. Kepler, thank you. He said he is first time catching us live. He's been watching us for about a year. Thank you for catching us live. Renshai is asking, what happened in 91, Lowry? Do we want to tell the people that don't live in Minnesota if they know? Because it's a thing about Minnesota. It's on the Discord.
You're right. Okay. Halloween. 1991.
It's when our cousin Johanna was born as well.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
oh, that's when my mom got married the second time.
A wizard.
So, but we had a blizzard.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, we got like, this is gonna be, you can't use this. That's what she said. But we got like 18, 20 inches of snow, and it was like blowing like crazy and just freaking. It's Halloween blizzard. That's what it is known in Minnesota. If you lived here during that time, everybody talks about it. It was the best most amount of candy I ever got because my brother and I were the only ones out, and every house we went to, they were like, we haven't seen any other kids. Here's all our candy. And so we had pillowcase, a giant, queen or the king size pillowcases full like that.
I guess I'm doing this.
Yeah, it's a good for you. Yeah.
King size pillowcases for your king size candy bars and your king size Halloween.
It was just they just dumped everything in there, and I just remember,
cool.
Like we were in costumes, but we weren't. We just had snow pants on, jackets because it was so cold. It was so much snow. It was over your waist. Like, I mean, as little kids, it was kind of insane. Yeah. So.
And then RoboCop is bringing up the Viking thing. That was what, 10 years ago? I don't even remember the year.
Oh yeah, actually we were supposed to we're at the game
second year.
Mm-hmm.
But we were on our way. Metrodome collapsed from how much snow we got.
That was 19 inches of snow there as well. So yeah, that was.
We were actually
on our way we were picking up our nephew to bring him to the game, and we got stuck on the road because we couldn't get on and off the ramps. Because the snow hadn't been plowed, and that was insane. Because it was a heavy, wet snow, and I love those big
2 days, 8 hours a piece. It was a lot of work.
Oh, good
really tired.
For you.
That's not a good for you. That was hard manual labor. Because we don't have a snowblower or anything, so I just shoveled that. I employed a couple of tenants to help me, and that sucked. Yeah. I had to dig once I got done.
This sounds like an old man story you're about to tell. I had to walk butt naked back to school, up and down, uphill both ways.
Worse.
I want to hear
the first night trying to get back home, I had to shovel up to my driveway in the street. So I had to shovel.
Oh, you could
a path so my car wouldn't get stuck. And I had to shovel up. I mean, thank God I was at the end of the block versus like middle or top part, but took forever.
So you had to shovel from the street up to your driveway,
from the main street, and then I went all the way up.
Oh man!
And then into, and then all I did was I got.
Where were you living at that
house.
time? Oh, okay.
At my dad's house.
Oh,
yeah. So so I'm just on the street,
Lexington,
and then when I got close, I just revved it, ran into the driveway, packed all the snow underneath, and I was stuck for another day. Like had to dig myself out, but I was so tired. I was like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So 91 blizzard. We got brought up on the Discord because Number 2 got to deal with that with like anytime. He's not from here. He's not from the Minnesota. He's from Chicago area or whatever. And
Right.
they don't know about that. That was
They
was
don't
pretty
know about that life.
Yeah. Hey, we're at that 17 mark. Let's get to this dang episode,
do
right?
that.
We don't want to do
Tags.
2.5 hour episode. Okay. You can become a patron. I don't think we had a new patron this week. No, this is the first week in a while. Yeah, no new patron. You can become a patron by donate and help support the Commander Smiths financially by donating $1. Not donating, becoming a patron. But yeah, I guess it is donating $1 or more. That gets you into the Discord. $5 or more gets you proxies each month. The higher you move in those tiers, you can get proxies like this foil little guy right here of the stormtroopers and everything there. And each month we add in about 4 or so new proxies. I've mentioned before, I think it's approaching 400 different proxies you can choose from. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger each month. That's what she said. I beat you to it. But that is the financial way to support the Commander Smiths. But the other way you can support us is to donate live on the shows. You can make us take Malort shots. Right now, Lowry is not taking shots. So half price shots, you can make me take Malort shots or regular shots or do beans. Anytime we're live, actually, there is an opportunity to donate. And that actually supports us out. You're making us do stuff, but it does support us as well. Helps us continue doing what we're doing. I mean, we'd probably still be we would be doing this anyways because we did it for free for how long? 4 years? Because we're coming up on 6 years now, right?
3 years.
3 years, and then we had the Discord start, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's when that stuff started. Patreon.
Patreon. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, Patreon.
There we go.
So yeah, that is both ways to support the show. The other way financially to support the show, surprisingly, is if you just watch our content on YouTube. If you watch us on YouTube, if you listen to the podcast and you have the option to watch it on YouTube because it does give us a fraction of a penny. And if you want, click on those ads. That helps. I actually don't know. I don't know how that works. I just know that there's ads, and that's why there's ads.
I'm sure they give us plenty of reading material.
Right.
I
If there's
don't
no
look at the emails. That's why Stump the Smith works.
If there's no pictures, then I'm not watching it. I'm not reading.
That's how Stump the Smith works for me. I read the flavor text, look at the picture, and just forget what it does.
Yep. So this
it's too much reading on them sagas for sure.
This fits us well.
Kid can't even read.
If I have to read, I'm not reading it. So
It's
so the biggest thing there, though, is the free way to support us is to jump on YouTube and subscribe there if you haven't subscribed yet, and just watch our content. We have tons of content that goes out every week. The next couple weeks are going to be a little bit light on the content. Might have $1 to Duels video because finally have that finished, like a completed thing. But I got to complete the video, which I don't know how long that's going to take. But we have Halloween this week. We have Guys Weekend next week, so we're kind of going to be light on the next 2 weeks. But there is curated MTG that happens no matter what, twice a week, 365 days, or let's go with the weeks, 52 weeks a year. Is it 52? Yes.
yes.
52 weeks a year, two times a week. Curated MTG. What was your curated yesterday or coming up or whatever?
I could talk about both.
Okay.
But we'll. So River Song's journal book, something like that.
Artifact. Yep.
Yeah. I'm just doing the Doctor Who stuff that I think is like cheap but cool. I think, and so but River Song's book. Go check the link. It doesn't matter. But basically, it's saying if whenever anybody casts an instant or sorcery spell, you exile it under that. It's like an imprint thing going on, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, if there's 4 more that are imprinted, you get to cast one of them randomly for free, which is really cool. Works really well in the deck that it came in. Timey-wimey, I believe it was.
So,
but you're casting spells.
Number 2 got.
Oh, you liked it?
He had it out, and it was working really well. I didn't see what randomly he was getting, but it was activated within like 1 or 2 turns after because we're casting sorceries and all that stuff, and it just keeps going. Every turn you randomly are casting one of those spells. It's pretty sweet. I dig it.
It's pretty cool, especially if you're like, it's going to do some work in a spell slinger deck.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that cares about casting from not your hand, which is kind of a big thing there. So it's a really, really cool artifact, I think, that's going under the radar. I think it's just
an artifact. Yep.
Free value. And then the one that I'm posting tomorrow is, I want to say it's like Auton Soldier. But basically it's a 6-mana clone, which is kind of a lot.
Is that the Myriad one? Yeah, I was gonna say the Myriad one. Yeah, that one's pretty sweet.
And that's really, really cool. So like if you're dealing with, like, Myriad is in general, but you get to control what it is. So it works really well on an ETB deck, or if you're trying to have like
it's giving Myriad to all your artifact creatures, right? Isn't that one?
No, it gives itself Myriad. So the clone, and then you're attacking. And
okay. I was thinking of a different one. Okay,
yeah. Yeah, that's a legend, like a Cyberman.
Yep, Cyberman one. Yep.
So it's not that one, but just a clone that Myriad's like cares about tokens coming down into play. So if you're like token based, ETB based, like dealing damage based, attacking based, like it's really great in Refine. And so like, because Myriad is counted in Refine, and so if you're copying Refine, attacking with the Myriad and Refines in play, you'll have 4 Refines attacking with at least 3 of them. So you'll draw 3, discard 3, and do that 4 times.
Ugh.
So you'll at least see 12 cards with that.
That's
and discarding
insane.
12 cards, but you get to, cycle through.
Yeah.
So you're just seeing so many cards emptying, and that's just Refine. And so there's a lot of really cool ways that you can use that. I think 6 mana is probably appropriate, because I thought it was too much at the beginning when I first saw it, but then I started thinking about it. I'm like, man, there's a lot of really cool stuff. So you're going to have to check out the curated tomorrow that I'm going to post. Do that.
Check it out. Yep. So biggest thing with curated MTG is it is in 2 places. You can watch it either on YouTube, or we are on TikTok. You can watch both of those there. Biggest thing with the shorts or the TikToks is make sure you watch them all the way through and give them that like. That like helps us out, and it helps cancel out that 1 or 2 people that like to do the thumbs down every now and then.
Sorry, I got fat fingers.
We have a serial thumbs downer. It's like there's just like following us just a thumbs down. It's fun. Now everybody's gonna thumbs down and just have a lot of them. So yeah, any of those shorts, anything that's short like that, make sure you guys give. I guess Proxy Time was last week. I did a short of that as well. So that was all of the October proxies that went out, which kind of had a Star Wars theme to it. There's 2 cards, as you saw with Grand Crescendo. And then there was the Atawara is the other one that was Star Wars with the Death Star. And then 3 other proxies that I did there. So you can check all those out. Like I said, biggest thing with those is watch them all the way through, give them a like. I think that's it for our videos. That was last week and this week. There's gonna be more curateds, but we'll see if I get the other one out. All right. So the other place you guys can follow us is on Twitter or X. For now, we'll see where we go with that. You can direct messages there, or you can direct message us by shooting us an email at commandersmiths@gmail.com. All right. Should we get into this main topic? Let me see. I actually set ourselves up to have this little guy there. So I'm using our little...
Oh, because it gives everything Ward 1. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just set this whole scenario up of what happened this weekend.
Was this the guy that was on the field that caused the problems?
Yes. So K9 Mark 1, right? It's the Roman numeral 1, I'm guessing, instead of I.
I think so, yeah.
That's what I'm guessing. So I was playing the one that does the sagas for the first game. So it was a 3-player pod, and I got this card out. So what K9 Mark 1 does, it's a 1-drop blue robot dog. It's an artifact creature. It's a 1/1. But as long as it is untapped, other legendary creatures you control have Ward 1. Its other stuff is interesting. You can you can tap a blue and a colorless and make something unblockable or a legendary unblockable. That's not the point of this one. This one is to protect all your legendaries, and that deck is a shit ton. It's almost all legendary. Like, it's crazy how many legendaries are in that. So this was nice to get out early. So we're going through the game, and we're playing Plane Chase, which, by the way, we talked about the different scenarios of decks or games last week. Plane chase is fun. Like it's a different animal. I will say it's very swingy. So it's, it's the dice roll thing that you don't like very much. And I can see that because in the second game, the player that was in the most control, I almost beat him because of me rolling awesome. Like I got him down to 2 life when he completely had control of the game. But because of the plane chase, I kept hitting the chaos thing, which then I got the huge bonus from that. It almost gave me the game. So it's interesting. And actually in this game, the first game that I'm talking about when I had the K9 out, I was in complete control because I kept getting the tokens from the bonus from the plane chase. But then they rolled the chaos, which allowed them to switch life totals. So I was by far the most life, and then mine got changed to 5. So, yeah, it was whatever. Okay, so let's get to the point here, what I was talking about, the ward stuff. So what happened was we were late in the game. This got played early. We're all playing these pre-cons, so they're all new stuff. And the other player, not number 2, but the other player, his name is Rob, he played a spell, and he kicked it or something. I don't remember what the spell was, but he kicked it like 5 times to target all of my like not all my stuff. I had so much stuff that it was hit the good for you button, but I had so much stuff that was only like a quarter of my things. But he targeted for you. He targeted.
So it replicate? Oh, it was
it was a black
You're talking
spell.
about the one the Dalek thing. So he gets to tap a Dalek to kick the spell and destroy a creature, and you lose 3 life per.
Yeah, and it was done 5 times. So he targeted one thing that wasn't legendary. Everything else he targeted was legendary, and he was all tapped out. And so then I was like, okay, while he's doing that, I'm checking his mana, and I'm like, okay, he's all tapped out. So if he chooses legendary, he's fucked. And so, he chose 4 of them. And I was like, okay, so the only thing that dies here is this one thing. And I was like, everything else doesn't die because of the ward from, this that I cast earlier in the game. Granted, there's a lot of factors in this. 1, they're new decks, new cards. 2, it was early. I cast this so early in the game. It was probably turn 3 when I got this guy out there. So obviously probably forgot about it. I mean, everybody forgot about it. Number 2 didn't even remember that I had it out. And so that happened.
I'm assuming he didn't target it either then?
He didn't do K9. No, he went for everything else.
Others.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he went for all the doctors, basically. All my doctors he was trying to take out. So then he's like, well, I didn't know you had that. Can I change the targets? And I was like, well, I mean, that's not how a ward works. I was like, if it was hexproof or shroud, I'd be like, yeah, for sure, because they aren't legal targets. But it's like, ward specifically is talking about countering if you don't pay the spell. And I was like, I didn't explain at that time, but I'm in my head. I was like, this just happened to us in a game, like I said, a month and a half ago or 2 months ago or whatever, back to back, where mine was the second time it, that happened to one player trying to target your shit. And then the next turn I did it, but I did it as a mistake, thinking that I could use the treasures from my spell, not thinking ahead, not actually thinking about it. Those won't come into play until after I've targeted. So
everything, but it's countered and
So he got very upset, and I'm all about take backs. I'm all about you can change targets, you can do this or whatever. But with that, I was like, I don't know what to do here, because I want to give one more example. Is then we played a game. You and I don't remember if it was in the Discord game or it was in real life, but I think you were targeting something of mine, and I told you, I was like, oh, that has ward something. And you're like, oh, that's right. And you tapped or you changed your targets. And then I said out loud, oh, I probably shouldn't have told you, reminded you that, because then it would have been counter. And you're like, yep, you're probably right. And I was like, fuck. So I don't know. Like, ward is such a weird mechanic that I don't know how to handle this, because here's my argument for it is it, where did I say? It says, it specifically states, like if it said ward 1 and what ward was like, you have to pay 1 to target this creature. didn't have the counterpart on there,
Right,
then I'd be
right.
like, you got to change it. But it's specifically saying, or it's countered, and so that's the part where I'm thrown off. It's like, how often do you remind? If you're always reminding, then the counterpart doesn't matter. If you're always going to remind people when they target it, then why even have that second part of the sentence in there? And so, okay, I've talked a lot. You take in.
I'm just listening because this is first for me, just as everybody else.
Yeah.
So, and you've kind of gone over some of the thoughts that I was having, like they're new decks, new cards. Nobody built them. They're pre-cons, and so everybody's kind of learning and stuff like that. That I agree with you. Like that makes it to whereas I would lean towards leniency. Second thing is I don't know the new player or the different player. I don't know how often he plays because I take that into consideration too.
Right,
if he's a newer, if there's a newer player,
I would not.
I am way more lenient. I explain what's going on, or I at least try to.
I knew he was.
And then
he's a player. He's from the LGS that number 2 goes to, so I knew.
Okay.
He knew what he knows what he's doing, but again, yes, it's. Yep. it's they're new decks, and I understand. So, but that's a very good point. I had that as part of my notes. I said, if it was a new player, hell yeah, I would have been like, yeah, dude, that's fine. Take it back. You can change this. You didn't know. But let's take that scenario. New player stuff, completely. You should allow that. You're trying to make them have a good time. Not that don't want this guy to have a good time. But you're wanting the new player to come back. And if you're doing a lot of these being like, oh, you forgot to do this. Oh, gotcha. You're screwed. They're not going to come back.
Right. And we kind of talk about that, even though we don't play a lot of counter spells and all that kind of stuff. Part of it is that gotcha moment that it creates feel bads within the game, even if it's legitimate, like Ward's just sitting there. And counter spells are kind of in the hand, but you see the mana open, you can try and play around it. Like that's part of the game, along with Ward being there, and it just kind of counters it. Like at this point, we know what Ward does. It's been around for a couple of years now and becoming more and more frequent. I don't know how often it's showing up in games, but I am starting to play with it more.
I'm seeing it a lot more, in the last month or so.
And so. And I think number 2 had a really good point about how many more cards are coming out. Like it's impossible to know what everything's doing.
So that
the alt arts make it really hard to know what's going on, seeing across the table. And we've kind of
spell table, like spell table's another monster.
Right.
Like,
this is where I was going to say spell table's actually making me probably a better player.
Right. That's what I did a bunch. I'm asking. I'm like, is there something on the board that I can see that you can either block this creature or
I should be able to see.
Right. But is there something on the board that your creatures, like we'll use Ward, for example, that will protect your creatures or would not allow me to target your creature that I can see? And I did that in the game. I said, is there something on, like I was attacking number 2. I was like, is there something on the board that you have that I would allow you to block this creature, was flying or whatever? And he's like, nope, what I have here. And that part was because his table's so fucking huge. I can't see anything he has. It's so wide that I'm like, I have no idea what your cards are. I can't even reach across.
Big table number 2.
Yeah, I couldn't even reach across to like grab his cards. Like he'd have to throw them to me. So, but I want to have a counterpoint to what you were saying with it being new is I don't think you can use that as an argument is like, this is a new deck because like you said, there are so many new sets. There are so many alt arts now. Everything proxies are, that's why my proxies have changed to go with these alt arts because we're getting secret layers, we're getting skins, we're getting all this stuff. So at what point do you go, like that's, what I'm saying? Like you're not going to recognize the card that's out there. no matter what, like there's so much new stuff, or you're always going to have that excuse of, well, it's new cards, because then you really just have that excuse,
or new arts or whatever. But
yeah.
that's where it goes back to spell table. And I think people, including us, everybody, all of this gets solved. The feel bads get solved when you communicate better.
Right.
And you're trying. So like, you don't know what he's trying to cast.
Yeah. I had no idea. Like he was,
I
had
so
no
you can't
idea.
be like, I have ward,
Right.
just to remind you, I have this. I have some land open. Like, how much do you remind somebody when you have no idea what's going on? But at the same time, if he just goes, would there be something stopping me from being able to just kill some of your cards?
And that's when you would say.
And then you go, oh, you know what? Yeah, I do have ward. I don't know if you're trying to wrath or not, but you can't target my legends.
Yeah.
Or, you can do broad questions or something more specific, or like just trying to understand, because you're saying like you can't see across the board. Same thing for them. They can't see, it's a wide table. So everybody's having that same problem that you are. And so if he's asking more questions, then you're pointing it out, but and so I get why it's kind of like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Because he would have just went and destroyed number 2's board.
Right. That's what I.
Because that's what he could have done.
That's exact. Because I literally had 2 other cards or tokens that were not legendary. That's it. Everything else everything else was legendary. So it was like, well, then it would have been your board going after number 2's board if we were allowing to change it. And number 2 was kind of having an argument. Well, he would have tapped his money. He's like, no, actually, in fact, he was asking to change his targets. And at that point, it would have been number 2 getting taken out with his stuff. So, but that's besides the point. But the hard part is, I think what we're kind of stumbling into, which is kind of a good stumble into, is the vocalization. And that just needs to, if you're going to, I think that just needs to start happening because, and you're right, because of spell table, it is making us probably better players, because I'm doing that when I never did that before. I'd never be like, is there something that that is on the board that I can see that can do this?
That I should be able to see, but I'm not visibly able to see it because I'm freaking blind.
Well, and not only that,
other thing that
you have multiple cards.
I would
go ahead.
What?
I was just gonna say, if there's
thing
me,
I'm moving on to another idea. So it's you.
Well, I was just gonna say the other thing with it is if they're late in the game, if they have multiple cards out, you don't want to have to go and read every single card to be like, okay, hang on a second, let me just read. If the easiest thing is just to ask, and if you just are like, I'm planning on doing this, I'm going to target your stuff. Is there something that can hinder me from doing that? That should be your question, instead of the surprise. I'm all tapped out. All your stuff is, I'm boop, 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 picking off this. I'm not saying you played it wrong. I'm just saying maybe your first step when you're planning your attacks or planning your interaction with another player is at first, before you even like tap anything, is go, is there something I'm not seeing that is on the board? And that before you even do anything, then you move forward. Nope, there is nothing. There is no protection. I can't trick you and do like this card, because I will do that. I've done that before. I'm like, I don't have flying now, but I can give this guy reach. Or not reach, flying or something like that. So,
right. Because people are being kind of cryptic in their questions too, and so you don't really know. But if they're like, do you have any flyers, like, no, I do. You want to just be like, you can be to the letter of the law and nice and be like, nope, I don't have any flyers. And then you can be like, well, I can give this guy flying. I could, or I could give him reach. I could do something about a flyer, but if I want to be letter to the law of the question,
right,
you can leave it as is. That's not something that I would do.
I
would point out, but I can give this reach by, I have some mana open, or flying or whatever. I can deal with a flyer on board. I'm not revealing my hand as in like, oh, I got a whirlwind in my hand, I can destroy all
Right,
the flyer. Like I'm not going to do that.
I have
I'm not gonna
settled
be
the
like,
wreckage that I'm going to deal with your shit when you
Right.
all out attack at me. Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, there are points where I'm like, all right, I'm going to attack you, Adam. And you're like, I have 7 blue, or, I have 7 mana open with blue. I'm like, well, then I'm definitely attacking you. And you're like, okay, Cyclonic Rift.
Yeah.
You always have it,
Yeah.
or had it.
Had it. Yeah. I haven't put that in the deck for years
Yeah.
at this point.
So just build red decks and that's all the problem.
Touche.
But I think communication is really, really important when it comes to a game. Because again, there's a lot going on in a Commander game. In 3 or 4 players or bigger, it's really hard to keep track of you're trying to think of what you're doing.
Right.
And trying to keep track of what their board state is.
And
sometimes
all
you're
the
drinking.
words. Yeah, that's a good point. But then also all the words, like every set almost seems like every card has a story that is on the card. So you don't know everything that's going on. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. So I think what you really nailed on the head is that the first step should be, if you're interacting, to ask questions. And if they're being douchey to not answer your questions, well, I don't want to play with those kinds of people because...
but then you got to go over and read the cards.
Yeah.
This is a time-saving thing in asking questions.
Yeah.
Do you want me to sit down and read through every one of your cards to make sure? Because I don't know what every card is. I mean, I do, but most people don't.
Oh, good.
And then, I'll hit that
for you.
And so... But it's
get one win under your belt, and then now you're a Stump the Smith Savant.
I'm gonna lose today.
Yeah.
But it's a time-saving thing, and I think number 2 brought that up. But we've said this before too. Like, you don't want. It's a long game already.
Mm-hmm.
Like communicating allows for the game to speed up a lot quicker, and just being like, if somebody's sitting there counting their creatures to attack you and you're like, do you have like mana open to attack me with Ghostly Prison? And like, oh yeah, you're right, I can't attack you. And then that just speeds things up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You can be like, you can't attack me.
Mm-hmm.
Just letting you know, because that'll just speed things up and not create like a feel bad.
I will say one thing with
you.
Ghostly Prison is I do not give them the warning before they're tapping things out, not attacking, but like, if they're playing their main phase first.
Oh yeah, I don't.
I'm like, I want them to tap out, because then I want to be it's kind of like a mini gotcha, but it's not. It's like, all right, you're moving to your attacks. Well, you tapped all your mana, so you have to attack somebody else. Motherfucker. Like,
Yep. I'm totally fine with that.
You see, right? He knows everything but Crucible Worlds.
I don't even. What card is that? That's a dumb card. If I've ever heard of Crucible of Worlds. All right. The one thing that I wish I saw a little bit more, and it's something that I really try and do, is read the card when I'm casting it as well. And so, because a lot of times people play the card and they just do its thing.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm playing K9 Mark I. It's a 1/1. It gives all my legends ward 1, and I can tap it with some mana to do the activated ability.
Right.
And then leave it.
I don't know if that's because I do the same thing. I don't know if that's because of the podcast, because I'm just used to like, we need to read the card that we're talking about because there's people listening. But I do the same thing. I did that with this when I cast it. I like went through it and I'm like, God, this is a long card to talk about. I'm like, and it does this ability and this and all that. But yes, reading it when it comes out instead of just assuming everybody knows what the card is or then handing it to them. You still probably have, like, a lot of times people will read the card aloud and it doesn't register in my head what they just read to me. So then I'm like, can I see that just so I can get the key notes, the cliff notes out of the card, because that's typically what I do. I was like, I don't need to know exactly what the card does, but I'm like, what are some of the key things that I need to take out of this card? And so a lot of times I will take the card from somebody after that. But yes, I agree with you. Reading it when you cast should always be there, and that's also probably a spell table thing too, because again, spell table is great, But it also depends on your camera. It also depends if you don't have proxies. You can't always click on the card to be able to see it. So a lot of times I'm like, all right, let's can you read me what the card does or tell me what it does so I can type it in? Yeah.
So another thing, like going back to like the Treebeard game.
Yeah.
I think because when we did that, I don't remember who targeted Treebeard and they're like, well, it's countered. Like that's the one where we should have probably been like, oh, you could probably, target something. Because again, new commander, new card, patron. So we want to be kind of nice to him. Like, so he comes back. No, and then, but also at the same regard, when you targeted Treebeard later,
the next turn,
then I wouldn't. The next turn, then I wouldn't have.
No, definitely.
Right.
That's why
this instant definitely happened, and we had to talk about it and take it back.
Yeah.
It is something that's in the conscious. Like we now know.
Well, when I said it in the moment afterwards too. In the moment is like, I was thinking I would have those treasures to use to be able to pay for it, but it's like, nope, the spell has to resolve, and so then that's where the saltiness came in. Not at you, at me for making the mistake. Like that's where I just is like, I hate that when you just make the mistake. It's on the board. It just happened the turn before. Yeah. It just, I hate that stuff. So, but again, you don't allow me to change that because one, it just happened. But I think the reason why we didn't allow the other person, whoever was playing, I don't remember who it was. I think because we had just talked about it as well. Not that it got targeted, but I think you had said it or something like that. We weren't being like, oh, you can't do it, maybe? I don't know. We'll have to go back and watch the video. Get the clicks.
I'm not going to do that. It was Scott. It was
Scott. All right. Scott, do you remember if we had warned, like, why didn't we allow you to change it? I feel like that otherwise we might have allowed you to change it. I don't remember.
I think it was just, because I remember after the game, we talked real quick and then like, oh, that ward thing is tricky. Like I remember having, or maybe it was the next day or whatever, but we were talking about like, oh, what do we do about ward?
Yeah.
Or how should we handle it? That's kind of what this conversation is right now, because we didn't do anything beyond that. But so you're saying you're right about that. We had just kind of talked about it. Yeah. So it's ward with that counter is tricky. It's squishier than hexproof and shroud, like you were saying. Yeah. Like hexproof and shroud is like you can't even target it. It's an illegal move,
right?
And generally, I think the general consensus is move it to a different target.
Yeah.
You don't get to put it back into your hand, which is different too.
But again, that talking ahead of time before you're casting the spell would solve that, where you don't just have to cast it. You know what I'm saying? Like you could change targets, or if you didn't want to cast it, then that allows you. So it's almost like you're leading back to what everybody should start vocalizing more. Like don't feel like you're telling your hand by, they're not going to, in response to you asking the question, do something. I mean, if they do, we're going to do it anyways. Once you cast something, they can respond to what you do anyways. So don't feel bad to be like, if I attack you, can you They're not going to get mad because you're going to be doing that anyways.
Right.
And I think that might be part of the mentality of why you don't. Like people don't. But one thing go ahead. Because
I just, no, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say one solution besides what we just talked about, which I think is actually probably the better solution, is I was like, maybe you need using either a token or something to put on the board for ward. Just say, I have a
reminder token,
right? A reminder token, a token. Did you pay this? But the thing is you don't do that with everything else. But that's why I'm like, ward's different though. Like it is the counterpart, and so I did that when we played the last Discord game or the one before, because my commander made the emblem. And so I wrote my knights have ward 1, and then I erased it on the thing, and then wrote ward 2 because I was able to activate it twice. Oh, good for you. But
fair. All right.
But I don't know if that got brought up.
Oh, good for you.
That feels good.
There's
a lot of that right now.
Yeah. The ward kept getting brought up because I don't know if it was because I had that sitting out, but it kept getting, oh, your guys have ward, don't they? Yes. But it was because maybe
because I was going to target your stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'm kind of counting everything out, and you're like, my guys have ward. I'm like, oh, you're right. You're right. So,
that might have been when I said I shouldn't have told you. That's where it came in.
Yep.
That's what I said. Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. And you're like, yep. I was like, fuck. I wanted to pay you back for getting me, even though you didn't get me. I just was dumb and didn't do it right. Like, but you got me because it was your creature. But anyways,
I mean, I do think there is a difference too. Like if you're going to get into specifics, like if somebody's running a commander, that's a little bit different than in the 99 as well, because everybody's going to read the commanders at the beginning, and you kind of know, oh, Treebeard or Jin-Gitaxias, they have ward. You might not think of it, but you know, like at the beginning of the game, you're like, oh, okay, this is what's happening. This is what's going on. And so I do think that's a little bit different as well versus when you're giving all of your knights +1/+0 and ward on a random token from a planeswalker that's brand new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those are different situations. Not saying that we played them wrong by any means, but just they're different situations in my mind. Like
that
a
one
commander's just a lot easier to see that that's what's happening.
Right. Well, in that situation, I had to write it because I had to have an emblem, so I had to show that I had it.
Right.
But if that was the thing, I mean, I don't like people being pissed, especially somebody I had never met before, you know? And so...
would you like to say sorry right now?
I think it was fine. Well, let's just say the next game he moved to the other 3-pod and never came back to this 3-pod. So no, it was only because it worked out. We rolled dice, and then him and the other guy, they switched, and then their game ended quicker, so they played another one, and we played again. So whatever. I think in that situation, I probably would use those. What are the cards called again? Ones you can write on. Fuck, why am I brain farting with it? We have them. It's the beer that's getting me. You know what I'm talking about? The dry erase. You have them right there. Mine are out of reach. Get it.
Infinite tokens.
So those are fantastic. If you don't have those, get them. We're not sponsors or anything like that with that, but that might be the way to go if you get ward. I think ward is the only one I would say that with because of the counterpart. And then if somebody doesn't, you could still do reminders and stuff. But I think the best solution is what you said that kind of stemmed this whole thing is be vocal about what you're doing. Check things. It'll help you out. It'll make it so that you don't make mistakes. You don't get salty at yourself for missing something and it helps not cause for conflict with, you don't want to be mad playing Magic. Those are the worst when you
trying
get
to
done.
have fun.
Yeah,
it's a fun game.
When you get done and you're pissed, that's not fun. It sucks, and you don't want to go back to it. And yeah, so I don't know. We're at an hour.
We're good.
We're
good.
Yeah, we didn't go into take back season. It was really just talking about ward.
Just ward.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of the rules kind of apply.
Yeah.
Do we want to quick talk about takes these backsies?
I mean, that could be a whole segment by itself if we wanted to.
It could be.
We need topics.
Oh, we're good. Maybe. Yeah, we do. We're running out. We're waiting for a set review at this point. Like, should be coming soon, right? Or Secret Lair. Come on, Secret Lairs.
Yeah. No, we need the other one to end, which isn't for another month. So
Jesus. I thought we were getting like another deck or two.
We probably will, because the My Little Ponies thing is ending in less than a week, and so I'm guessing when that's done, they might pop into the deck stuff. Okay, all right. Let's get out of this. This is good. Thank you for the comments, Scott. Thank you for Renshai comments, RoboCop, you guys, for all the comments on that. Want to hear what you guys also think. If you've encountered ward, that was what I was kind of getting at with the Discord. I want to see how other people have encountered that. If you guys had solutions and all that, if you have some ideas, please put it in the comment section on YouTube, or you can direct message us. But we prefer you to be on YouTube and comment there and interact, because we do see that as soon as you guys do that. So, all right, let's get out of that. let's get to the beer and pizza of this. Actually, the beer and pizza was that. This is the fun part.
Is beer and pizza not fun?
Well, no, it's just this is stop.
What?
I don't know. It's time for everyone's favorite game show, Stump the Smith Savant. All right.
I'm gonna admit that beer and pizza is basically the only way that I have fun. So,
Pizza is the best.
What are you trying to do here?
It is the
Pizza
best.
is the best.
All right. If you guys don't know how this game works, I am going to read the flavor text of a card, and Larry's going to try to guess the card by asking yes or no questions. Every yes will hear this.
Hello, boobies.
Every no will hear this.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
He will get up to 5 wrong guesses before he is considered stumped. He gets up to 3 clues. If he can get everything about the card but can't get what the card name is, he will get the initials. If he has an extra clue left, he will get a bonus clue, which should help give it away. Give it away now. The card has to be at least 10,000 EDH rec decks. I think I already said that. This week's stumper is Tragic Eraser. And, the prize, Lowry is 71 and 25. This is round 25, week 2. If we get past week 3, every 3 weeks, we add a ante. So right now, it is the foil proxy of Grand Crescendo in the Stormtroopers little alt art there. All right. I think that's it. So this is a short one. Let's see if you can get this. All right, here we go. Oh, I've eliminated the chat. So the chat can try to guess before Lowry. And here we go. Great Death with Sword in Hand.
Oh.
Great Death with Sword in Hand.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, it doesn't
That's
give
a
away
toughie.
anything there.
No, it doesn't. Okay. Death and Sword makes me feel like it's a white card, potentially. Black or white. That doesn't sound... It doesn't sound blue.
It is not Crucible of Worlds.
Jackal. Is this a black and or white color identity?
Hello, boobies.
Is this a... Oh, I don't know. I'll take first clue, please.
The art features a woman leading an army into battle with banners flying in the background. Many, many banners. The art features a woman leading an army into battle with many, many banners in the background.
So this it kind of makes me feel like Great Death with Sword in Hand. I want to say it feels like it's almost like an enchantment, but it could also feel like a combat trick of some type, like an instant, which would put that at white. But if it's an enchantment, I'd want to say that it's black. Is this a non-permanent spell?
Wrong, 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 wrong.
Permanent spell. Great Death with Sword in Hand. I'll take the second clue, please.
All right, hang with me. This is a lot. You're probably going to have to get this a couple times.
Probably.
The text features a mechanic that may help a creature survive if blocked or blocking. Just reading wise. And a
I can't even read.
I just had to. I didn't finish. I didn't put blocked. I just wrote block. Blocked or when blocking, and at a cost, a bonus wimpy attacker on attacks.
What? Yeah. Please repeat that.
Hang on. Okay, hang on. Okay. Just writing a couple things in that I didn't write in there, so you're going to get a different one. The text features a mechanic that may help a creature survive if blocked or when blocking, and a potential cost, not potential cost, a cost to a potential bonus wimpy attacker on attacks. Yeah, there's a lot going on. This was a fucking hard one to write the clues out without like spelling it out. Let me read one more time.
10,000? Okay.
The text features a mechanic that may help a creature survive if blocked or when blocking, and at a cost, a potential bonus wimpy attacker on attacks. A potential bonus attacker, wimpy attacker on attacks.
Okay.
I'm putting the commas in the wrong spot. I don't have any commas on. I don't have any commas on my paper, but it's the next line.
I didn't understand what you meant by like. It felt like wimpy was just added in there.
Let me read that part again. And a cost to a potential bonus wimpy attacker on attacks. I hate this one. No more writing while driving. I wasn't driving, Scott. He said, Adam, no more writing while driving. It's on the
That's
treadmill.
true. You do that. You do
treadmill.
notes when you're driving.
No,
it's dangerous. You should stop that.
I used to do that when I drove a lot. No, now it's on the treadmill when I'm doing this.
I'm still gonna say that's very confusing because.
Can you get the first
so
part?
Repeat.
The text features a mechanic that may help a creature survive if blocked or when blocking. What is that?
So, Bushido. I'm not saying it,
Okay.
but it's like Bushido.
Okay, and then second part, and at a cost, a potential bonus wimpy attacker on attacks.
Repeat that part again.
And at a cost, a potential bonus wimpy attacker on attacks.
Can I get the first clue, please?
The art features a woman leading an army into battle with many, many banners flying in the background. No one on chat has it at this point. Surprise, because clues suck.
Okay, so we know. I'm just going to say it because I want to hear the confidence boosting button, but this is a permanent spell.
Hello, boobies.
It's still black and or white. So we're saying it helps it survive being blocked or blocking, which like Bushido, if it's blocked, it gets +1/+1, and if it blocks, it gets +1/+1. Problem is that Bushido just isn't used very much. And in the black or white, you're talking like Hand of Cruelty or potentially Umezawa, but neither of them really match up. I don't remember the white one, but it's basically
Renshai, yes, you're on the right track.
There's so I think it's potentially like First Strike, because that can help it survive if it blocks or is blocked. And then when we're saying that it attacks, it poops out a little attacker.
It poops it out.
I mean, it doesn't have to be. We're saying, you're saying there's a cost. This is the part that's confusing. Can you repeat that second part of?
And at a cost, a potential bonus wimpy attacker on attacks.
So the cards that would come to mind, and they don't just do one. They do multiple. So like we have Hero of Bladehold, but that's just an attacking trigger for both of them, Battle Cry and the two creatures. So that wouldn't be it. And then there's the
time for pumpkin beer.
So I think is this a white card?
like only white is what you're saying, or you're saying?
I don't know. Maybe. I want to change my question. Is this ward or hexproof? Is this a creature?
Hello, boobies.
Okay.
Okay. You asked. Do you want me to answer? Like, give you the yes or no on the? Is it a white card?
Let me see if I can, because that wasn't the right question, so I need to word it right because I know it's a white card. So that's I either got to say that or that.
Yeah, Wrench, I got it. It's a.
Because it could be more colors, or it could be white and red. Unlikely.
I hope I get to the point where I can give you the
White and
initials on this one because it'd be fun.
I'll take the third clue.
Okay.
Right, hold on. I know it's white and or black. At least it's a creature. Is there anything else that I got from that? Or is that everything?
Hey, Renshai, what gave it away? That's what I want to know when you're on the chat there. And don't say what it is because others can still guess.
Yeah, I'll take the third clue, please.
He said, "Good luck, Larry. Adam's clues suck ass." Come on. This was a tough one to freaking write clues for. All right. This card is in 15,000 EDH Rec decks. It was first printed in Fate Reforged. And besides it being a commander, it's most seen in Ishin Two Heavens as one. You have an Ishin deck.
I do have an Ishin deck. Fate Reforged. So I'm glad that I didn't go with white because it can be multiple colors in Fate Reforged. That was a multicolored set. It's an Ishin, so yeah, attack. I was right about assuming it was an attack trigger that created a creature. And it wouldn't be Bushido, so probably still thinking first strike. A first strike creature that's white could be black too. I mean, Ishin didn't narrow it down. We know it's a creature. We know it's white and or black. It attacks, creates at least a token. Seems like just a token. A woman. What's the first clue?
The art
with
features
many
a
banners.
woman leading an army into battle with many banners flying in the background.
Hold on. Okay, repeat it. Repeat everything. I think I'm there.
All right. First clue. The art features a woman leading an army into battle with many, many banners in the background. The text features a mechanic that may help a creature survive if blocked or when blocking, and at a cost, a potential bonus wimpy attacker on attacks. This card is in 15,000 EDH Rec decks, was first printed in Fate Reforged, and besides it being a commander, it's most seen in Ishin.
So I very much thought it was Mardu Ascendancy for a second because I forgot that I had already picked creature. And it would fit. It would fit other than it's not a legend. Because Mardu Ascendancy, whenever you attack with a creature, you get to create a 1/1 attacking creature. I think it's attacking. And then you can sacrifice it and it gives all your creatures +0/+3. So it would survive attacking or, blocking or being blocked. So kind of match there. But that's probably from Khans as well. Khans of Tarkir.
Yeah, that one has one has the shield, with the sword thingies.
So, but it's likely in the Mardu clan. There's like Shadow Spear something or other, but she doesn't have she's not doing an army. That's good. Oh man.
Oh,
I don't think I'm using this one.
Hang on. It doesn't matter much. but I'll give you this. I can't read. It's greet death with sword in hand, not great death with sword in hand. I wrote it in wrong, and now I'm reading it down here. It's greet. Greet it. It's just,
I don't know if that. Yeah,
that doesn't really change much because greeting death with sword in hand, but it's not great death. Sorry. Apologize on that one.
So I'm sitting here trying to think, is there a Mardu commander? So this is Fate Reforged. Hold on.
We're going to go 2.5 hours just in this. I'm just kidding.
We only have an hour 15 left before I get it.
So yeah, it's
What were the legends from that?
greet death with sword in hand. The art features a woman leading an army into battle with many banners flying in the background. And that's every version, actually. There is one other version with a different art, and that also has banners. The text features a mechanic that may help a creature survive if blocked or when blocking. And at a cost, a potential bonus wimpy attacker on attacks. This card is in 15,000 EDH Rec decks, was first printed in Fate Reforged, and besides it being a commander itself, it's most seen in Ishin decks. Because obviously it would be the most decks because it's the commander. Which actually, no, I think the amount of decks that it is less than the amount that was in Ishin decks. Ishin had more. Pretty sure. I want to check that now.
You got time. Don't worry about it.
Well, while let's see if this slows down our feed.
Okay, let me. Is that first ability? Is that first strike?
Hello, boobies.
You
Yes.
got that one. Good job. Yes, it is.
I was worried about that one.
Oh, no.
That was.
It being it is in more. It itself as a commander is more than it being in other decks. So.
Okay.
So
and
yes.
then we're saying basically it's an attack trigger
Is that
to. I'm just saying whenever it attacks.
Do you want me to like hit it? Is that a yes or no? You want
All
me
you
to? Okay.
I want a
Hello,
yes or no.
boobies.
Okay. And then it creates a 1/1. On the attack.
Wrong.
Let me read the second part. And at a cost, a potential bonus wimpy attacker on attacks.
Wimpy. What is?
I don't know.
What's wimpier than a 1/1?
It's subjective. Kind of.
Misleading.
Not really. You'll see. You have to pick apart that whole sentence there. And at a cost, a potential bonus wimpy attacker on attacks.
And so you are saying that it's not a 1/1.
It's not a 1/1.
Okay.
Paul,
That's pretty wimpy.
yes, but I don't want to give hints there because they'll give it away.
Is this? It's likely. So is this a multicolored creature
Hello, boobies.
or color identity?
Yeah,
not necessarily. Yeah.
That's that part that Lowry just said, Paul, is the reason for what you're saying there. Sorry.
What's he saying?
I'll show you after.
That's all right. Okay. So attacks, can pay something, creates a creature. I'm going to admit this is a bad creature. It is not in my Ishin deck, and I don't even think I I don't even think I considered it. That
I think there was one thing I probably should have added. But
you can add it
in the text part. That would have
greet death.
you. Great death with sword in hand. It's like
it works. It worked. Greet death with sword in hand. We know it's a creature that has an attack. It has first strike. God darn it. What are some of the characters there? We know that it's a legend. We know that it's within Mardu colors. We know that it is multicolored.
Start getting those colors. What color identities do you think it is? Let's narrow that down.
I don't want to.
Let's do
There's
it.
So many combinations, and I don't have a clue. Is it a dragon? Fate Reforged. There was a lot more dragons there, because there was none in cons. I'm pretty sure there was. Yeah, there was definitely some in Fate Reforged. Yeah, and then dragons. Yes. Golly gee whiz. What is that? Okay. You're right. Colors. Do we want to say, is it Mardu? Is it red, white, and black?
Hello, boobies.
Is it?
Good job.
Ugh. I was not expecting that. I was expecting that to be wrong. So I am not sure I have.
I'm
any
surprised
idea
you didn't
what's
just
going
go, is it red? Yes. Is it white? Yes. Is it? But you went all three. Because if it was any other color on there, I'd have been like, you've been screwed.
on. You're right. That was
you went for it. You're
very
like,
ballsy.
I'm fucked.
Very ballsy of me. Good job, Lowry. You saved us all time. Communicated properly.
So it's a Mardu color commander, but is an Ishin. Could be it's most seen in Ishin decks besides it being a commander itself.
It has first strike.
It has first strike.
When it attacks,
It has an attack trigger.
you pay.
Man,
That's the part that's eluding me. It's either 2 or 3 mana. I feel like there's a white in there, 2 colorless. I have no idea what the fuck this card is.
Let's see if I can walk you with some. Yeah, you don't even know where where to start with this one. I can't help you anymore.
Is the creature type warrior? Is one of them at least?
Hello,
warrior?
boobies.
Stupid.
Yeah.
I'm getting real lucky.
Yeah, you are. Is it also salamander? Like, I mean, you're just you're guessing and you're getting them right, which doesn't happen very often. This is the third time we are going through the sounder.
Hold on. Is it a human and or orc? Is it one of those two?
Hello, boobies.
So you know it's a warrior. Is it a orc warrior? Is it a human warrior? Is it a orc or warrior orc? I don't know what order.
Orc-rear? There we go. I felt bad. I don't like that. Sorry. I'll delete that in the audio.
Wow. Oh, I'm not even on the right part to go give you want-wants. You're allowing me to drink more. This is kind of fun. It's nice pumpkin beer. It's nice and sweet.
It's fucking hate this. Golly, I have
You don't have
no idea.
You don't have that beer juice in you. You don't have that thinking.
No, you're
juice.
right. I need those carbs. That's what I need.
Yeah, there's nothing I can give you anymore. Like, I'm like, oh shit. Okay. The only thing I meant to say in there is the potential part has to deal with recursion. That's all I'll give you.
That doesn't help either.
I meant to put that in my clue, and then there's so much to this fucking card that I didn't add it into the recursion. So it would be, and at a cost, a potential recursion bonus wimpy attacker on attacks. See how I'm basically, my clue is longer than what the text is of what this fucking thing does.
All right. Let's try and narrow this down. Is it a human?
Hello, boobies.
Okay, so we know it's a human warrior. We know it's Mardu of some type. We know it has first strike. We know that it has an attack trigger where you got to cost. It's costed at something 2 or 3. White and or black is involved because they are the recursion triggers or the colors, and so we know it's red. Oh no, okay, so there's that cycle. There's like God, it took me so long to get there. There's Yasova that has like it's one color, and then you gotta like pay the hybrid, and then you have the One Punch Man that's blue, and then it has red white hybrid ability on attack. That's Yasova. So which one? So there's Mardu. So she's red, and they're cheap. Red, 2 colorless.
Hello, boobies.
Two hybrid of black white.
Hello, boobies.
So black white. Alesha.
Is that a question?
That's her name.
Question? I hit the button?
Is it first name Alesha?
Hello, boobies.
He's getting there.
Alesha. Yasova. Or Yovosa. Yeah, it's Yasova. Golly, I'm lucky that I made that Yasova deck 10 years ago. Don't think I would have gotten there without that. There's that cycle. Now I don't want to fill out the blanks, but Alesha. Okay, where she was in the secret lair with the woman's month.
There you go.
She's been in some commander products. Alesha, who smiles at death.
Oh,
Hello,
how
boobies.
did you do it? How did you do it?
Jesus.
I wanted to give you the initials so bad. AWSAD.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the recursion
The
part.
recursion helped. I know,
Sorry,
and I realized it there. I was like, "Oh shit!" That was when I'm going through the
needed that.
clues. I try to like think of, okay, how am I gonna do this clue and balance this out? And recursion was always supposed to be in there, and I completely forgot because of how long the clue is. I normally like at the most when I write a clue, it's like 1-2 lines most. This is 4 lines of me writing this fucking clue out because it's
a
like,
lot.
how do you give you what the card is doing without giving you what the card is doing?
Yeah.
There's a lot to
that was a tough one for you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I didn't.
I'm sorry, tragic
I'm
race.
sorry. I'm sorry. That took me a long time. I appreciate whatever patience that you still had. We're down to 4 people left listening.
Yeah,
Appreciate
exactly.
it.
And I remembered, sorry, Abukaki, I'm not drunk enough to forget to draw the name. So
Who is next week? Whoa.
Let's see. What's
Eraser. Good pick. Good pick.
If you want to, you can send that, and we can get those on the walls there. Sign it, whatever. Lowry's wall. Well, actually, you can't really see it there. Let me jump over.
Perfect.
Oh no, that's fine. Whatever.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'm leaning a certain way this
holy
week. So.
shit! Look at this. Can you see it?
Natural.
Mr.
Hockey
got drawn. See,
Look at him.
Your name was in there. I told you. You didn't believe me that your name was in there. Oh, it's been like over a year since he's gotten his name drawn. So, Ibukaki, you're going to try to stump Lowry next week. Again, the Grand Crescendo is on the line.
Blind guess. Gateway Plaza again.
All right, so I'm going to draw another name because Lowry already got it. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
That was what he had
Yeah,
one
I know,
of the maybe one time that he. I don't remember. It was just the last one he had. There we go.
All right.
There we go.
Well, okay, guys. I think that'll do it for this week. We had an hour and a half. That's not too bad. I mean, that was a long stump there, but that's all right.
Yeah. Oh.
Thank you guys for sticking it out. Scott, Renshai, Paul. Let's see who else we got on there. Renshai there. We got Trav was on there. We got RoboCop. We had Kepler, and Ted was on as well. Thank you guys for joining us on the live feed. That should do it for this week. We will catch you guys next week.
Thanks for listening, watching.
See ya.
Bye.
Sega.
I love boobs. I'm talking top
man.
I
don't know.
love boobs. I'm bunkers for honkers.
Renshai says half the show was Stump and
boobs.
Smith.
Thanks for the memories. I love boobs.
Half the damn show was Stump the Smith Savant.
It always is. It's just, it's the same amount of